The movie begins in 3102 BC, where the warrior Ashwatthama tries to kill a princess's unborn child on the battlefield. Lord Krishna intervenes, stopping him and punishing Ashwatthama by removing a divine gem from his forehead, cursing him to live in a decaying body. Ashwatthama can only redeem himself by protecting the woman who will carry Vishnu's 10th incarnation. In 2898 AD, the world was a wasteland, and people were sick and without water. The last surviving city, Kashi, is ruled by Yaskin, a 200-year-old man who lives in the Complex, a floating megastructure that drains the planet's resources for the rich. As the people enter the city, they are stunned by its grandeur. A truck of prisoners arrives and guards scan women for fertility. When a father tries to protect his daughter, a guard strikes him down. Raya escapes, but Rumi catches her and takes her to a hidden place where they meet Luke. Later, they video call with Viren, who is worried their actions might provoke Shambhala. They meet a pregnant woman, Divya, but a test reveals her child is not Vishnu's reincarnation. Suddenly, raiders attack, and in the chaos, the stone used for testing breaks. Raya grabs a piece of it while Rumi kills a raider, but both he and Divya are captured. Taken to the complex, a beast attacks Rumi, but Commander Manas stops it. He threatens to kill Divya unless Rumi reveals Shambhala's location. Divya urges Rumi not to give in, knowing she will die either way. Manas shoots her, and Rumi rushes to her, but it's too late. Yaskin declares himself the only god. When Rumi speaks of the god's wrath, Manas shoots him as well. Yaskin offers a reward for capturing rebels while Miriam watches through a hologram. Raiders chase the remaining rebels, and Luke is cornered until Bhairava and the AI car Budji arrive. Bhairava makes a dramatic entrance but quickly falls asleep, mocked by the raiders. He responds with music, tricks, and a small explosive, confusing them with holograms. Bhairava then reveals himself, breaking a raider's suit, punching another through a building, and kicking more off a bridge. He finishes the fight with a powerful punch, using the raiders to cushion his fall. Afterward, Bhairava asks for his payment and notices a holy symbol on the group leader's belt. Meanwhile, the captured women in the complex are part of Project K, an experiment to extend Yaskin's life using a serum from artificially inseminated fetuses. Some 80, a maid checks on the prisoners, and one woman admits she wishes she hadn't been fertile to avoid this fate. Manas oversees the insemination process, despite Yuri's warning that the women don't survive long. Ignoring the risks, Manas orders an early extraction, killing one of the women. When Yuri demands to know the truth about Project K, Manas refuses and takes him to meet the king. They meet Counselor Bani, who leads them into the royal chambers. Yaskin is connected to tubes, and a robotic arm injects him with the serum. Yaskin collapses but soon rises, declaring the serum was poisoned. Yuri stabs him, but Yaskin, unharmed, tells Yuri that death doesn't touch him. When Yuri admits to trying to kill him for the greater good, Yaskin feeds him his own tears, killing him instantly. Yaskin then orders Bani and Manas to find a woman who can carry the formula for 150 days. In the women's quarters, Some 80 is shaken after witnessing the earlier death. She checks her belly, revealing she's been pregnant for more than 150 days, but has kept it hidden. Another woman, Lil, threatens to tell the scientists since this has never happened before. Some 80 convinces her to wait, knowing the baby will be killed. Lil insists it's just a lab experiment, not a real baby. Bhairava spends his reward on a rare egg. Luke invites him to join the team, but Bhairava refuses, saying war has no good people. He shares his story of being a war orphan raised by a soldier, who later tried to sell him to the complex. Bhairava betrayed the soldier, selling him to the guards. As Luke listens, an alarm signals a break-in, and they prepare to leave. At home, Bhairava finds men searching his belongings, demanding payment for his debts. Leon arrives, reminding him he owes 20,000 units or risks losing his car. Suddenly, Roxy appears, knocking out the intruders and demanding her money as well. They fight, with Bhairava flirting the whole time. Frustrated, Roxy leaves, but Bhairava follows, swearing his love. Though skeptical, Roxy agrees to help him enter the complex. In the complex, the scientists announce another round of tests for the women. The next day, Roxy registers Bhairava as a visitor. Inside, Bhairava is awed by the wealthy area, and they explore together, enjoying fresh fruit, riding horses, and seeing the ocean. After crashing a fancy party, Bhairava knocks over a statue, alerting the guards, who kick him out. Meanwhile, Bonnie is called to the desert, where a legendary bow has been discovered. Back in the complex, a guard notices some 80's pregnancy, reported by Lil. At the same time, Raya is chased by a raider and a robot. She escapes to the desert, falls into a cavern, and is thrown against a column by the robot. An old man appears, unaffected by the robot's attacks, and destroys it, though Raya passes out during the encounter. Back in the complex, Manas is informed of Sum's pregnancy and orders an immediate extraction, showing no concern for the child. Later, Raya wakes up and sees the old man bleeding, but he doesn't seem to care. She realizes he speaks an ancient language and asks him to join the rebels. He refuses, saying he fights for only one person. In the complex, Sum 80 is hooked up to the extraction machine, but a power failure triggers an alarm. Meanwhile, Bonnie tries to grab the bow but is knocked back by a surge of energy, as the old man in the cave has a powerful vision. The malfunction ejects Sum 80 from the machine, sending her sliding toward the incinerator. Lil, an undercover rebel, rescues her, and they escape through the tunnels. They encounter guards, and Lil fights them off, giving Sum 80 time to escape. However, Sum 80 triggers a trap that activates flamethrowers. In the cave, the old man places Raya's glowing stone on his forehead, revealing he is Ashwatthama. Sum 80, holding her belly, walks through the flames unharmed. In town, lightning strikes a building, and Bhairava catches the falling debris, revealing a glowing religious symbol. The guards chasing Sum 80 are burned by the flames. She collapses, but the rebels rescue her before Manas arrives. The next morning, Manas meets Bonnie, who shows him the legendary bow. When a machine tries to grab it, the bow's power destroys the machine. Manas seeks a scientific explanation, but Bonnie warns that some things are beyond machines. Sum 80 wakes up in a rebel vehicle on the way to Shambhala. Viren questions her about Project K, but she knows nothing, angering him. Kira tells Sum 80 that Miriam and her ancestors have awaited her for centuries. When asked for her name, Sum 80 shows her arm's ID, and Kira renames her Sumathi. The vehicle is stopped by raiders, but the rebels pretend to be scavengers. A guard throws metal into the car, revealing the vehicle is a hologram. The rebels kill the raiders, but trigger an alert, forcing them to flee. Bhairava receives the alert. In the desert, Kira pursues a raider on a hoverbike, dropping a bomb to destroy his vehicle. More raiders arrive, and a gunfight breaks out. Kira crashes her bike, but manages to fight off a raider who boards the rebel vehicle. As the raider tries to drag Kira, Sumathi and Aju save her, but Kira knows it's too late. She sacrifices herself by detonating a bomb to destroy the raiders. Aju, heartbroken, reports her death to Viren. Bhairava, meanwhile, is chased by a debt collector who rams his car. Buji transforms into an aircraft to escape but malfunctions, crashing back into a car. Drones chase the rebels, who shoot them down. One drone crashes into a statue, breaking off a hand that blocks the road. The raiders surround the rebel car, and Aju is shot. Just as things seem hopeless, Raya arrives with Ashwatthama. The raiders open fire, but their weapons do nothing. Ashwatthama uses his strength to bend weapons and defeat the raiders in seconds. After the battle, he kneels before Sumathi, recognizing her as the carrier of the god's next incarnation. A raider fires at them, but Ashwatthama uses metal as a shield. Bhairava joins the fight, quickly taking down more raiders. Ashwatthama throws Bhairava to the ground, forcing him to use holograms to confuse Ashwatthama. However, Ashwatthama quickly finds the real Bhairava and overpowers him easily. Bhairava tries to capture him with handcuffs, but Ashwatthama breaks free and explodes the cuffs with his power. The fight continues, and Ashwatthama again overpowers Bhairava. Just as he's about to finish him, Buji hits Ashwatthama, but he stops her with his foot and destroys the car. Bhairava attempts to collapse the bridge on Ashwatthama, but he rises through the debris unharmed. Bhairava tries to trap him with chains, but Ashwathama pulls down the building, finally defeating him. News of Ashwathama's return reaches the complex, and Bani realizes the prophecy is coming true. They must stop Sumathi's baby before the eclipse, or Yaskin will be in danger. The rebels return to Shambhala, where Ashwathama attacks the guards until Viren calms him, explaining they are allies. Some rebels doubt Sumathi is the chosen one, but it begins to rain for the first time in decades, confirming her importance. Sumathi is treated like royalty, and the elders bless her. Miriam reveals that a compass pointing to Sumathi caused a tree to grow, around which Shambhala was built. In the desert, Bhairava wakes up surrounded by guards who inform him he is blacklisted and permanently banned from the complex. Dejected, Bhairava returns to his apartment, ready to give up. However, Luke offers to vouch for him and get him into Shambhala. Bhairava agrees, but in a flashback, it's revealed that he's acting. In the desert, he made a deal with Manas. If Bhairava captures Sumathi, he'll be allowed back into the complex. In Shambhala, the rebels hold a ritual to honor their culture and say farewell to their fallen warriors. During the ceremony, Sumathi has a vision of countless dead bodies around her, causing her to doubt whether she belongs there. Raya asks Ashwathama about the old war, and he shares that he lost to a prince with a holy bow, but his brother Karna, the original owner of the staff, saved him. Meanwhile, Bhairava works on his car to prepare it for the journey to Shambhala with Luke. Ashwathama notices Sumathi is trying to leave, fearing she is endangering everyone. He convinces her to stay by giving a speech on responsibility. Luke and Bhairava arrive at Shambhala, and Bhairava quickly knocks out the guards. Sensing trouble, Ashwathama tries to leave with Sumathi, but their path is blocked by a figure resembling him. They fight, but Ashwathama soon overpowers the fake, revealing Bhairava using a hologram. Sumathi tries to escape, but Bhairava dodges Ashwathama's attacks and makes a grab for her. Ashwathama saves Sumathi and throws Bhairava off the bridge, though Bhairava recovers with his hover boots. Ashwathama slams him down, breaking the boots. Buji opens fire, but Ashwathama explodes her, throwing Bhairava into the flames. Buji transforms into a robot suit, shielding Bhairava from the fire. As guards arrive to assist, Manas and his aircraft fleet invade. Bhairava battles Ashwathama, and though they struggle briefly, Buji throws Ashwathama off. Bhairava tries to escape, but Ashwathama pulls him off the bridge. Manas's soldiers invade Shambhala, breaking the force field with a laser. The rebels fight back, downing enemy aircraft with a shockwave cannon. The battle escalates as rebels use hoverbikes and shields. Amid the chaos, Bhairava and Buji save women from debris. Ashwathama blocks Bhairava's flamethrower and ties up Buji, making her crash. On the battlefield, Manas fires the laser again, overwhelming the rebels. Sumathi is placed in an aircraft to escape, but Miriam uses energy whips to bring down an enemy ship. Realizing Sumathi hasn't escaped, Manas blows up the aircraft, causing Miriam to fall. As Sumathi flees, Manas captures her with a mechanical harness. A rebel drone rescues Sumathi, but Miriam fights Manas and is killed. Sumathi's drone is shot down and she falls. Ashwathama catches her, but she slips. Bhairava catches her next, with Ashwathama grabbing his legs. Ashwathama pulls them back to the bridge and knocks Bhairava out. Enemy harnesses trap Ashwathama as Manas captures Sumathi and takes her to his ship. Ashwathama shouts in frustration as the sacred tree burns. A falling leaf lands on his staff, which drops into Bhairava's hand. The staff glows, awakening Bhairava as the reincarnation of Karna, Ashwathama's brother. With the staff's power unlocked, Bhairava shoots flames at enemy aircraft, stopping one with his hand and throwing it back. He blocks all incoming fire and destroys the ships around the bridge. Ashwathama recalls the final battle of the old war as Manas charges his cannon. Bhairava leaps, blocks the shot, and kills Manas with the staff. The staff's power collapses the enemy ships, and Bhairava escapes with Sumathi just before the bridge crumbles. As the bridge falls, Bhairava returns to normal. Unaware of what happened, he jumps into Buji to escape with Sumathi, but Ashwathama breaks free and tries to stop them. After a struggle, Buji activates extra power, and they fly away. Ashwathama reflects on the day his brother Karna saved him in the ancient war, a moment foretold by Lord Krishna. The movie concludes in the complex. Bani gives Yaskin the only drop of serum they managed to extract from Sumathi. Yaskin injects it, feeling a surge of power that makes him young again, allowing him to grab the legendary bow unharmed.